Welcome back to Global News, your go-to source for the biggest updates from the USA and across the globe. Today, we are counting down the top 10 most impactful news stories you need to know right now. Before we jump in, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you never miss a world update. Let's get started with number 10. Today, first news. US deploys second aircraft carrier to West Asia amid rising Iran tensions. The United States is deploying a second aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, and its escort ships from the Caribbean to West Asia, the New York Times reported on Friday. The development comes as US President Donald Trump weighs military action against Iran, as talks continue between Washington and Tehran over the latter's nuclear program. The US is increasing pressure on Iran to make a deal over its nuclear program. That 4 US officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity have confirmed this development and stated that the vessels are not expected to return to their home ports until late April or early May. The USS Ford Strike Group's new orders will have it join the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group in the Persian Gulf. The USS Lincoln aircraft carrier and 3 guided missile destroyers arrived in West Asia more than 2 weeks ago. The ship's extraordinary deployment, which began June 24 when the Ford left port in Norfolk, Virginia, was originally meant to be a European cruise, but was redirected to the Caribbean as part of Trump's pressure campaign on Venezuela, the New York Times reported. The U.S. news outlet reported that the USS Ford's warplanes participated in the January 3 attack on Caracas that captured President Nicolas Maduro. The strike group's current deployment has already been extended once, and its sailors were expecting to come home in early March. Trump, after his meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Wednesday, said that Iran was struck by Midnight Hammer previously. On June 21–22, 2025, under Operation Midnight Hammer, the United States conducted strikes against Iranian nuclear infrastructure, targeting 3 key sites in Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Iran strongly condemned the operations, denouncing them as a blatant violation of international law and the UN Charter. Recently, Iranian official Ali Larijani, in an interview with Al Jazeera, emphasized that indirect negotiations with Washington are ongoing in Oman, and that no specific proposal has yet been received from the United States. Iran state media reported that Larijani noted that the United States has reached the conclusion that it must adopt an approach toward Iran that differs from the military option, describing Washington's entry into the negotiation process as a sign of moving toward a rational path. Further, he rejected any discussion about zero enrichment, stating that Iran requires enrichment for the energy sector and the production of medicine. He warned, "If the United States attacks us." Next news, Israel-India Strategic AI Partnership bolstered at 2026 Summit. The Embassy of Israel in New Delhi has announced the arrival of a high-level Israeli delegation to participate in the India AI Impact Summit 2026, set to commence at Bharat Mandapam on February 16. Led by Ilan Fluss, former ambassador and EDT's policy coordinator at Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the delegation includes senior government officials, technology leaders, and policy experts. This visit aims to significantly deepen bilateral cooperation in artificial intelligence, climate resilience, ESG investment, and digital governance. Fluss emphasized that the partnership reflects a joint responsibility to lead with ethical innovation, describing the summit as a bridge between the two societies for co-creating digital public goods and deep tech. Throughout the summit, Israeli delegates will engage in high-level panels focused on precision agriculture, workforce transformation, and ethical governance of emerging technologies. Maya Sherman, innovation attaché at the embassy, highlighted that the collaboration targets real-world challenges, ensuring technology serves societal needs. The embassy has already organized several side events to foster dialogue between industry and academia. Moving forward, the delegation will collaborate with prestigious institutions like IIT Ropar and Dhirubhai Ambani University. This strategic engagement underscores a shared commitment to inclusive growth and strengthens the growing technological and diplomatic bond between India and Israel. Next news, Iran forms inquiry team to probe deadly protests. The Iranian government announced on Friday the establishment of a commission of inquiry to look into protests against the high cost of living that turned into anti-government rallies that left thousands dead. A fact-finding committee has been formed with representatives from relevant institutions and is collecting documents and hearing statements. Iranian government spokeswoman Fatemeh Mohajerani told the local news agency ISNA. The spokeswoman did not specify whether the commission would only focus on the economic demands that triggered the protests, or whether it would also investigate deaths during the protests. The final report will be published for public information and further legal action after the process is completed, she stated. On Thursday, the government website published comments by President Masoud Pezeshkian saying, "We have assigned teams to investigate the causes of the unrest," without providing further details. The protests, which began in late December before escalating on January 8, left more than 3,000 dead according to the official count. Iranian authorities claim that the vast majority of victims were security forces or bystanders killed by terrorists working for Israel and the United States. Human rights advocacy groups based outside Iran, however, accuse the security forces of targeting protesters. The US-based human rights activists news agency, HRANA, reports that at least 7,005 people were killed during the peak of the protests. "We are ashamed that such unfortunate events have occurred," Pezeshkian said. Next news, Kim Joo-ae, North Korea's rising successor and daughter of Kim Jong-un. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has selected his teenage daughter Kim Joo-ae as his successor, according to assessments from South Korea's National Intelligence Service (NIS). Believed to be approximately 13 years old, Joo-ae has transitioned from a private figure to an increasingly prominent presence at high-profile state events. The NIS suggests she has officially entered the successor designation stage, a move that comes as Pyongyang prepares for its major political conference later this month to outline policies for the next 5 years. This elevation marks a potential fourth-generation handover for the Kim dynasty, which has ruled the nation since its founding. First appearing publicly in 2022 during an ICBM inspection, Joo-ae has since become a staple at military parades, missile launches and factory visits. Notably, she accompanied her father to Beijing in September, marking her first known overseas trip. Experts point to her presence at symbolic events, such as the Korean People's Army founding anniversary, as clear signals of her status. Reports indicate she has even begun voicing opinions on state policies, further cementing her role. As the Workers' Party Congress approaches, global observers are closely watching for subtle signals that may further validate her position as the future leader of North Korea. Next news, Tariq Rahman wins landslide victory as Bangladesh transitions from Yunus regime. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party (BNP), led by Tariq Rahman, has secured a sweeping landslide victory in the 13th parliamentary elections held on February 12, 2026. Official counts confirm the BNP-led alliance won 212 seats, marking its return to power after 2 decades and positioning Rahman to become the next prime minister. The historic vote, overseen by the interim administration of Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus, signals the end of the transitional period that began following the 2024 student-led uprising. Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India was among the first global leaders to congratulate Rahman, expressing a commitment to supporting a democratic and inclusive Bangladesh while looking forward to strengthening bilateral development goals. With the election results finalized, the future of Muhammad Yunus remains a subject of intense speculation. While Yunus has consistently maintained he has no desire to remain in formal politics, Bangladesh's history often sees former leaders facing legal or political challenges. During the transition, Yunus introduced significant reforms, including a referendum on the July Charter, to set the foundation for future governance. As Rahman prepares to take office, observers are watching to see if Yunus will successfully return to his international development work as a respected statesman, or if he will be drawn into the country's traditional cycle of political scrutiny. For now, the successful conduct of the elections marks the completion of his primary mandate as interim chief advisor. Next news, Bumjaitai and Pheu forge coalition following election victory. Thailand's Bumjaitai party, having secured a decisive victory in Sunday's general election, has formalized a coalition agreement with the third-place Pheu party. Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul announced the deal on Friday, marking a significant step toward political stability. Bumjaitai captured 193 seats in the 500-member House of Representatives, while Pheu, backed by former Premier Thaksin Shinawatra, secured 74 seats. This alliance, supplemented by 8 seats from 6 smaller parties, grants Anutin a clear parliamentary majority with approximately 275 seats, effectively sidelining the reformist People's Party, which finished second with 118 seats. The partnership represents a notable reconciliation between the two parties. Bumjaitai previously exited a Pheu-led alliance in June 2023 following a diplomatic controversy involving former Premier Paetongtarn Shinawatra. Anutin, who assumed the premiership after Paetongtarn's dismissal and subsequent snap elections, urged for the erasure of past misunderstandings to focus on national governance. Analysts describe the move as a pragmatic frenemy alliance designed to leverage Thaksin's extensive business networks. Facing pressing economic challenges and lingering border tensions, Anutin emphasized that the coalition remains open to further expansion to ensure maximum legislative strength. Next news, EU reassessing €1.6 billion in Serbia funding over judicial concerns. The European Union is reconsidering its €1.6 billion allocation of loans and grants to Serbia following the adoption of controversial judicial laws that Brussels warns are eroding trust in the rule of law. EU Enlargement Commissioner Marta Kos stated that the European Commission is currently reviewing funds under the EU Growth Plan for the Western Balkans, noting that these disbursements are strictly tied to preconditions regarding judicial independence. The reforms, which centralize court administration and limit the mandates of public prosecutors, have sparked significant backlash from judges and opposition leaders who argue the changes bolster President Aleksandar Vučić's power while weakening the fight against organized crime. In an interview on Thursday, Commissioner Kos emphasized that while she is not in favor of direct sanctions, the Commission must ensure Serbia meets the criteria for pre-accession financial assistance. It is becoming harder for those in Brussels who are willing to advance with Serbia to make their case, she noted. While the Serbian government argues the laws streamline the judiciary, it has recently requested an opinion from the Venice Commission. The EU expects a revision of the laws based on that expert panel's recommendations. This tension comes as Serbia aims for a 2026 target for EU accession, a goal that analysts now view as increasingly ambitious given the current stagnation in rule of law reforms. Next news, DAC clears 10,000 rupees crore deal for 288 S-400 missiles from Russia. The Defense Acquisition Council, DAC, chaired by Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, has granted acceptance of necessity, AON, for the procurement of 288 S-400 surface-to-air missiles from Russia at an estimated cost of 10,000 crore rupees. The acquisition includes 120 short-range and 168 long-range missiles to replenish stocks used during Operation Sindoor in May 2025. To ensure rapid delivery, the procurement will be executed under the Fast-Track Procedure (FTP). India is also set to receive its fourth and fifth previously contracted S-400 squadrons in June and November 2026. This replenishment follows the extensive use of the system to neutralize aerial threats, including fighter aircraft and armed drones, during recent cross-border tensions. The S-400 approval was part of a historic round of clearances, valued at approximately 3.60 lakh rupees crore, which also included 114 multi-role fighter aircraft, MRFA, and Rafale jets. Under the current framework, the proposal has passed through the Defense Procurement Board and the DAC, and will now move toward price negotiations and final clearance from the Cabinet Committee on Security (CCS). The Indian Air Force is further advocating for the purchase of 5 more S-400 systems and Pantsir short-range air defense units. This layered defense strategy aims to provide comprehensive protection against drones and long-range offensive strikes, while significantly boosting India's air dominance and deterrence capabilities across the western and northern fronts. Next news, World Order under destruction as Munich Security Conference opens. The 62nd Munich Security Conference, MSC, opened on Friday, February 13, 2026, against a backdrop of scathing criticism toward the United States administration. The annual Munich Security Report, titled Under Destruction, warns that the post-1945 international order is being systematically dismantled by wrecking ball politics. The report specifically identifies US President Donald Trump as the most powerful of those who take the axe to existing rules and institutions. It cautions that the global security architecture once defined by Pax Americana is rapidly collapsing, replaced by a volatile system of transactional deals and regional hegemons that privileges the rich and powerful over collective stability. The 123-page report highlights a profound erosion of trust, noting that even within G7 nations, citizens have little faith that current government policies will benefit future generations. According to the document, the Trump administration's disregard for international law and its use of force in regions like Iran, Syria, and Venezuela have accelerated this fragmentation. Survey data from major allies, including France, Germany, and Japan, reveal a global consensus that the current US trajectory is detrimental to world order. In Ukraine, leaders are reportedly being forced into a posture of accommodation, as the conflict risks being reframed as a negotiable dispute rather than a matter of sovereignty. As over 1,000 participants, including 60 heads of state and 50 leaders of international organizations, gather in Munich, the atmosphere is defined by growing European anxiety. The report notes that European nations are struggling to form a united front, with defense spending hampered by industrial nationalism and a failure to prioritize guns over butter. With multilateral efforts toward humanitarian aid and climate change also failing, the conference serves as a critical juncture for actors still invested in a rules-based system to organize without Washington's lead. The consensus among organizers is clear. If the international community remains a bystander to bulldozer politics, the existing order may soon be reduced to rubble. Next news, UK braced for snow and ice as Arctic blast hits. The UK is currently under multiple yellow weather warnings for snow and ice as an Arctic maritime air mass sweeps across the country from northern Scotland. The Met Office has warned that the sudden drop in temperature is likely to cause significant travel disruption, with outbreaks of rain on Friday morning raising immediate concerns over icy road conditions and hazardous surfaces for commuters. In Scotland, a specific warning remains active until midday Friday, with forecasters predicting snow showers that could lead to transport delays and pedestrian injuries from slips and falls. While low-lying areas may see up to 2 centimeters of snow, higher ground above 300 meters could face accumulations of up to 10 centimeters locally. Similar warnings are in place for northern England, where rain and sleet are expected to turn into treacherous ice overnight. Met Office forecaster Marco Patagna noted that while the next 24 hours will remain cold and showery, a widespread frost on Friday night will give way to a much brighter weekend. Saturday is expected to be the best day in recent weeks, offering plenty of sunshine across the UK. Although temperatures will remain below the seasonal average, the clear skies are expected to provide a welcome reprieve from the wintry conditions.